10, 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay, again. 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una pipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que pensar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivada y tú aburre mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila y te escriba tu canción. Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una pipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que pensar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás tú aburre mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura, papi, tra, tra, tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura, papi, tra, tra, tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Luis Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Thursday.
No.
Mi Gente Show, live with my beautiful and talented co-host, Miss Sofia Carrillo, at Sophia_Car_. How you doing today?
Yeah, hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Let me put you on this side so I can better look at you. And
I'm all Halloweened out. Welcome October.
Halloweened out. Thank
Yeah.
you. Happy Spooktoberfest.
Mhm.
And we dropped a Halloween-themed episode yesterday morning with Deborah Castañeda about the monsters of Chavez Ravine. So
Mhm.
if you haven't already, go check that out by searching for Mi Gente Show anywhere you get your podcast, or you can check out the Mi Gente Facebook, the 2M Burrito YouTube, etc. All our channels, you can catch the VOD. So tonight is the continuation of Hispanic Heritage Month. And since we like to spotlight one creative entrepreneur, somebody that exemplifies the Mi Gente spirit, we decided to invite one of our favorites back today. She is a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic, and her podcast, The Latinx Lens, was one of the inspirations for us doing, which does movie reviews from a Latinx perspective, was one of the reasons that I decided that Mi Gente Show should have, it's basically news and culture from a Latinx perspective. So, what is to say? She's one of our favorites,
Yeah, she is.
So, welcome back to the show, Rosa Parra.
Hey, thank you so much. That beautiful intro, and for asking me to come back. all Chihuahua out, I guess. in
Yes.
my forest.
Yes.
I love that in particular.
Yes. Unfortunately, for those that missed last week, we won't make her talk about it because then she'll cry,
No,
and we don't want to see Sophia cry face.
nope.
But one of the two burritos beloved pets passed away, and she was a Chihuahua, which makes it more poignant that we have the Chihuahua in the intro
Yeah.
music, and you got the dog. So R.I.P. Cookie.
R.I.P. Cookie.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Cookie. Oh, dogs, they give us 10, 15 years, and then the last couple of months are horrible, but, you make that trade every single time. So, Rosa, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me back.
As always.
You're always welcome here.
You got carte blanche. You just say, hey, you guys are talking about something I want to talk about, and we'll get after it. All right. So, most relevant to people who are joining us, Rosa is a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic. She also helped me out because she was also helped us out with the San Diego Latino Film Festival last year. Rosa, what's been keeping you busy in the film world this day? Are you mostly focusing on reviewing, writing? What's the main thing for you right now?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I'm trying to catch up. This is the season to catch up on everything I missed throughout the year, and it's tough.
It's the most stressful season for you.
Yes, it is the most stressful time of the year, and yeah, it's that time where you have to watch these movies, and also come at it from a perspective of like, okay, am I gonna be nominating this for my individual critic associations or groups awards? And then from there, you have to think, oh my God, am I gonna get onto the Oscar pool and blah blah blah? So it's busy. It's been really busy trying to catch up with a lot of movies. I still have a lot to catch up on, but yeah, it's that busy time of the year.
What's the most what's the most screeners that you've ever get that of movies that, like, I know you get screeners of stuff that you might not ever watch, right? But
Yeah.
what's the most like amount that you've had backed up that you're like, I absolutely have to watch this movie?
I see. I don't know. Huh.
Like a lot, like more than 10, or do you usually try to not keep as many in the queue?
Yeah, I try to. The thing is, look at what's helped me a lot is the fact that I do the Sundance Film Festival at the beginning of the year. So a lot of those movies are coming back up right now, and they're like, "Oh, come watch it." I'm like, "No, I already seen it, already reviewed it. It's all good." But something that I haven't seen yet that's on my queue that I still need to watch, that I've been hearing a lot of buzz. I think the Woman King is one that continues to pop up, and a lot of emails on that one as well. So it looks like they're doing their campaigning as well.
Thanks for stopping by, Mr. CCDV. House of Dragons is okay to love. I don't recommend Rings of Power. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, and specifically about kind of like the PTSD from seasons 6, 7, and 8 of Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Women King in particular is kind of a weird instance because it has all the earmarkings of what you would call like a movie that should be flourishing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it really came out, but there was, I mean, you're aware of like the kind of backlash that it had, right? Like the sort of like how, well, the theory is that the warriors that they're portraying in the film, if you look at their history, actually fought to preserve slavery in their areas, and they were basically these governments and these nations were basically funded by, and they exchanged slaves for guns, right, and stuff like that. So there's this, but you think beyond the backlash to it, there's enough good buzz about it that you're still excited about seeing it. And I mean, I always want to form my own opinion after I see it, but
yeah, I've been hearing a lot about the performances and the direction, which obviously has me enthusiastic. In terms of the controversy, I have heard a few things here and there. Well, not really heard, but read about that. And I mean, for me, it's a film, not a documentary. So in that terms, even documentaries have their biases and such. So I tend to not give much thought to those type of criticisms. At the end of the day, it's a movie,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be 1,000% accurate. At the end of the day, we never, to be frank, we're never going to know the true story out of anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
So to that extent, I'm just like,
Well, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting how that conversation, because I mean, you have movies like, for example, like Mel Gibson, like The Patriot, which is supposed to be about the Revolutionary War, but like it has almost zero
mm,
semblance in reality. You know what I
right.
mean? So it's
Mhm.
kind of like, yeah, I get it. You can I would tend to say that you can enjoy it as a movie without feeling like you're betraying something by going to watch it. It's a movie. You want to see more, black female action heroes. You want to see more movies representing different cultures. They don't all have to be perfect, right? We always talk about the degree of difficulty for Latino filmmakers and creatives, where they have to be perfect every single time, where
Right.
other people are allowed to fail regularly. So, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
supporting a cool film. Um, so, besides The Woman King, which you've missed, what do you think your favorite films of the year so far have been? I know you post regularly, like your top four. What's your
Mhm.
top right now?
Yes, letterbox. Follow me on letterbox and you'll know. Um, I'm apologetically advertising my account here.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
I
plug
I,
yourself.
I
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I do, but go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, you know what? My favorites haven't changed as much actually. Now that I'm sitting here looking at the movies, let's see. From the new ones I've seen recently, none of them jumps up to my favorites of the year. I think that might start changing towards the end of this month and November, December, when your Academy Award friendly movies are the ones that are supposed to be getting nominated and getting all that buzz.
Mhm.
Because a lot of these movies have been coming out in the fall film festivals, which sadly I haven't been able to attend
Mhm.
yet. I'm aiming to do that AFI one, the American Film Institute, that one that's in November here in Los Angeles. So there, I'm looking forward to seeing like Pinocchio from Guillermo del Toro and Bardo from Alejandro González Iñárritu. But you know what? My favorites still haven't changed. A lot of movies that came out earlier this year. My favorite still, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes! Sorry, I'm
It's
excited.
yeah, no, no,
That's
no.
my
I
favorite.
share that excitement. Yes,
Mhm.
it's just one of those movies that it's so memorable and unforgettable in general. And what I mean in general, I mean like all aspects of filmmaking, the editing, the acting, the stories, everything. It's just mind-boggling. And um, I've seen it a few times. When it brought it back to theaters, I'm like, I need to go support this film because it's
Mhm.
easily one of the best movies I've seen in years, to be honest with you, not just 2022. It's easily one of my favorites in the past couple of years. I mean, obviously, Top Gun Maverick, it's up there also.
Mhm.
Marcel the Shell. This little shell is so adorable.
I
It's I just adore it.
I've been meaning to watch it since the last time we had you on. You mentioned it, and
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. I'm sorry, Rose. I've let you down.
Yes, you need to seek it whenever you get the chance, at least by the end of the year.
Okay, will do.
It's just so heartwarming and so heartfelt. It's just a feel good movie.
Mhm.
I still have the Batman up there from back in, I think it came out late March. Also, is still one of my favorites. And The Northman is still up there for me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one was still good. Not a
Our
lot
f-
of
our
people are
fa-
talking about it anymore, though, which kind of
our
scares me.
our favorite vanilla beaner, uh, as we call her, is in that. Mr. CCDV says I've not seen Top Gun Maverick. I'm looking forward to it.
Mm.
Sophia does have some nice jack-o'-lanterns.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, thank you. Um, Maverick, I agree with. Like, Maverick was just sort of an unapologetic, like, this genre film. Like, there's a bad guy. We're not going to tell you who they are, but you're just
Yeah.
gonna, like,
Mhm.
there's like for everything from the nondescript enemy to like the mission to the nostalgia. I think it's I think it's pretty. I think it was pretty cool. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sophia, what was your favorite? Why did you like it so much? What was your thoughts on it?
Um, man, I don't know. It ranged from everything from like just the plot, how it has to do with like relation between like a relationship between a mother and a daughter, and then stuff like the cinematography. Also, like it was one of the films that I was watching, and every single scene I have no idea how they shot. Like a lot of the action sequences and just I have no idea. Like sometimes I watch a film and I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see how this was shot or this one I have no idea. I just have no idea how they did it. I love, I don't know, everything, the story. I like how it has humor, drama, everything. The acting was impeccable. Yeah, I don't know. I watched it like 3 times. I'm obsessed.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
The Northman I think would be on my list. Maverick, and I'm not sure. I think what about more like obscure fare and like anything like niche that you've seen that's out there that you're a
Mhm.
fan of?
I just recently, a couple weeks ago, watched The Outfit. And that one, I think it's streaming on Peacock, and it stars Mark Rylance. It's one of those period pieces that just not nobody's talking about. I don't think anybody I've seen anybody talk about this movie. It came out earlier this year, and it has what's his face? The one I continue asking for him to be Dylan O'Brien, the new
Dylan
Flash.
O'Brien.
It also has Johnny Flynn. It's very good. One of
The
those
Outfit.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. It's one of my favorites. When I watched it, I was like, why is nobody talking about this? I don't understand.
Ooh.
There's also some documentaries like Aftershock. It's currently streaming on Hulu, and that one can be a bit more challenging to sit through since it's focusing on women of color and the issues and challenges that they often face when giving birth, when they go to the hospital and getting medical treatment, and how sadly women of color statistically have the higher death rates, not only for children but for mothers, new mothers. And they look into that, and they follow some of the fathers who sadly had their wives or their girlfriends passed away, and it gets in there. It gets quite deep, and it's quite effective and powerful, and something that I personally think a lot of more people should be looking at. But again, not many people are out there watching things. I get it. It's not going to be an easy watch, but I do think it's an important one.
Mhm.
And it's
Well,
called Aftershock.
Aftershock. Gotcha. That was my
Mhm.
question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, Sophia. I mean, as somebody who loves documentaries, I think. Do you find this is an interesting question for you, Rosa?
Mhm.
Because like when you're talking about documentaries that are hard to get through, like for example, like The Act of Killing, The Look of Violence, Grizzly Man, uh, where we have these either they're retellings of horrible trauma and stuff like that. But there's also movies like, for example, like City of God or other sort of rough movies. Some people can't watch Schindler's List a second time. What are the movies for you that are so good, but that you have a hard time rewatching, whether they're documentaries or features?
Yeah, Schindler's List I've only seen twice. I saw it once when I was in school. I didn't remember most of it, and I watched it. I think it was last year. And yeah, that's a movie I'm never gonna watch again. I can't sit through that again. So seeing, I get atrocious acts towards other humans is something that's quite challenging to see, specifically if it's based on true events, I guess. So something like Schindler's List, that's gonna be something I'm not gonna sit through. But if it has to do like Game of Thrones or anything like that, that's fiction and it's made up and all
Yeah.
that, I can watch people get beheaded like nothing.
Uh,
It's so random. It's so weird.
Give me all the red weddings.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
please give me all the weddings in Westeros, and I'm good with that.
Yes.
Another film for me the pianist, which I had not watched it when it came out, and then there was controversy, and then the director and all this stuff, and I was like, I don't necessarily want to watch it, but eventually I watched it, and it was brilliant. But it's also another one that's hard to watch or hard to imagine yourself watching multiple times.
Mm.
The facing Nolan, I didn't. I mean, I love baseball, but I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it was just very mid doc, honestly. And I'm a Nolan Ryan fan. Sophia, any questions so far?
Well, I kind of, speaking of Westeros, I kind of wanted to pick Rose's brain on the House of the Dragon.
Okay, you want to segue into
Yeah.
Dragon
So,
Talk? Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
mean, listen, I am not the professional Rosa, you are. So I've been, based on your tweets, I've gotten the hint that you probably are enjoying the show so far. So I want to know, what are your thoughts? Do you like it? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down, Roger Ebert style, and why not?
I am absolutely loving the House of the Dragon, two pieces, and
Ooh.
I think it's. I miss this world. I'm big on Game of Thrones. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I love this world building. I love the dynamics, the familiar dynamics, the political machinations, all of it that comes with it. I guess the incest, I guess as well. It's something that I had missed so much from Game of Thrones, and I'm one of the very few people who didn't really have that big of an issue with the last two seasons of Game of Thrones. If anything, they might have even prepared you to the big time jumps in this movie. In this movie, look at me, in this show. So I'm absolutely loving it. I literally sit. It's a date. It's a date night. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. I'm home and I watch House of the Dragons. It's a must, and I had missed having that feeling and visiting this world, and just
Well, let me ask you
listening
this,
to that
Rosa. Like,
intro song automatically just transports me
how?
to Westeros.
What side did you fall on? Like the season 6, 7, 8. Were you satisfied with the way the original series ended? Were you also a book fan? Were you sort of disappointed? What was your? I mean, because I think that me and Sophia are coming at it a little bit more reluctantly, because even though while we were in there, we were knee deep in the Westeros lore and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But we
the
sort
books.
of we both got a little PTSD at, like, because I don't think there's been a series that was so huge that, like, almost nobody rewatches it now. So where did how easy for you, were you disappointed at the end of the original show, and how easy was it for you to jump back in then because of that?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't disappointed by it, but yet again, I'm not a book reader. I haven't read any of the books, so I guess in that sense I have nothing to compare it to in terms of its accuracy or anything like that. And I guess George R. R. Martin still hasn't finished writing the book, so in that sense I think I'm good. I think if you're a book reader, you're more likely to be disappointed by it because it's not necessarily following a lot of it, and the books haven't been finished. So I can understand where a lot of the frustration is coming from. I guess I'm a simpleton, and and in that sense, it just won me over. I had no issues with the last two seasons. In fact, I think one of my favorite episodes of the entire show takes place in season 7. And it's the field battles where the Lannisters meet the Dothraki, and for the first time they ever see a dragon, and that battle sequence is just so incredible, so mind-boggling. They had a special screening for that exact episode. I think it was in one of the Regal theaters here in downtown LA, and I was like, I need to see this, because that's what Game of Thrones is. It's such a cinematic show that it plays so well in the biggest screen possible. And so yeah, for me, I didn't have any issues with season 7 or 8. Are they my favorite seasons? Of course not. I think still my favorite season is season 6.
Yeah.
But I didn't have much issues with it like a lot of people did. Yeah, so I was easily able to go back with House of the Dragon. Yeah.
Cici says, I'm so glad that I only watched season 1 back in Iraq in 2011. I have no baggage going into House of Dragons. I mean, it's not to say that it's not a worthwhile ride to go on. It's just that I think that they ran out of material. They had to sort of improvise the ending, and then mistakes were made. And like I said, it's I don't think it's like how they say that, oh, they were mad that the pretty white people didn't run out into the sunset or whatever. we felt like it was it was like a shitty ending to a really glorious time in Westeros.
Yeah.
But that being said, the new show came out, and there was only so long that we could stay away from it, because
Yes.
it was like, is it in Westeros? Check. Are there dragons? Check. Is there incest? Check. Is there backstabbing?
Yeah.
Also check. So eventually we had. So Sophia, how did you feel diving back in?
Oh man, I feel so bad. And I know I'm the unpopular opinion, but okay. I liked the first few episodes, but I am now officially hate watching it. I really hate the show. I hate it. I'm sorry, Rosa. I'm so sorry. I passionately dislike it, and it's been a steady decline for a lot of reasons. But this last episode we were just watching, the one before that, and I watched it with my brother, and we were just kind of staring at each other, kind of like, did you hate it as much as I did? And he's like, yeah, that's bad. And we just don't want to watch it anymore. And we agree that we're going to continue. We're going to ride this out until the end of the season. But man, it's one of those shows that I don't think I'm going to pick back up. It's in my opinion, it's really bad. I don't like it.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't, and I wanted to kind of, because here's a reason. Okay, so for all the reasons that we stated, I waited a little bit to jump back into it, but then when I really thought about it, and me and Sophia talked about it, is like we shouldn't really deny ourselves a good show just because the other show hurt us, right? But the things that allowed me to get back into it is that the story has already been written. The story of the Dance of Dragons gets mentioned throughout. I think it's Baratheon, right? When his little daughter, like she's learning the story of the Dance of Dragons and stuff like that. Like it's lore, it's established canon. There is no way to mess that story up. It's already part of the history, and every single part of that story has been written. Everything that came before it, everything that came after it has already been written and set in stone. So I think that's the one thing that allows me to be like, I already know where this is ending. Because if you know the lore of Westeros, or even if you've seen the wiki page about the succession of the kings of Westeros, you can see who ruled from when to where. So that was kind of the reason why I decided that I would give it a chance to keep going. And that's kind of, so I'm enjoying it on that level. I think the sets are really well done. I think I wish they would have a different song, because even though I know for Rosa, like, it pulls you in when you hear that song Sunday at 6 p.m., right?
Nostalgia. Yeah.
And the nostalgia.
Yeah.
For some reason, like, it just triggers me a little bit when I hear that song. I just like, I'm like, it all just starts rushing back, and I'm just like, oh no, the prince that was, the freaking, the signs, the this, the that, all the shit. And so it gives me a little, so I'm like, I'm skipping the intro on this one, is what I'm saying.
Where are you at now, though? Now that you're caught up, what is your opinion officially?
I am caught up to everything, to the time jump, to the last episode. I usually watch it Monday or Tuesday mornings, but Rosa's watching it live tweeting it at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Team Dragon. What side are you on? Are you team Dragon, or are you team Greens?
I mean, both teams have dragons. You know what? I don't know how a lot of the audience is, but I'm actually going for Team Green, just because I understand, in a sense, where Alicent's, I guess, Hightower and where she's coming from, and the fact that a lot of people are loving Rhaenyra. I don't necessarily love her. I just think she's just entitled, and she just gets to do whatever she wants, and faces no consequences whatsoever for what she does. And then on the other hand, you have Alicent, who's doing everything as she's expected to do, and yet she's still being treated like this, and she's being placed upon as the baddie here in the show, which I find to be a little ridiculous. But no, I'm all Team Green, obviously, all the way.
Oh my god.
She was
Yeah.
Interesting.
She was taking one for the team, banging old ass Viserys.
Yeah.
At least she could do is see her child sit on the throne. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Sophia, if you had to bang some old guy.
What, for a throne? I mean,
He
it
looks
might.
like a White Walker.
No, and then
Yeah.
like the scene with his back all like,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
poor Allison. I don't know.
Man.
I can see both sides. I'm not. I think the reason why I officially don't like it is because I officially don't care or like any characters. So I don't care what happens. Like when Laenor was like the big reveal at the end, I couldn't care, and I hate myself that I don't care. But Rhaenyra, like, she proved to be a shithead. Allison, I think, is a petty bitch. I think everyone sucks, and not in a fun Jaime Lannister way where it's like, oh, like morally gray area characters. No, they all just kind of suck. They're all petty and whiny, and they like make weird moves that don't politically make sense. The writing is off in my book when you compare it to Game of Thrones. But here's the thing: I've learned that I have to put different goggles on to watch the show, because like I'm watching it. If I'm going to compare it to the greatest epic of all time, it's just not fair.
The Bible?
Right?
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. No, it's just not fair. I feel like Game of Thrones was like this huge, epic story where it was like the world could have ended. There were White Walkers. There was a prince that was promised. There was like everything. The dragons were just reborn and all that stuff, and like everything could have gone to shit. And there was an end to it. And then with this story, I feel like we don't know what's going on in the realm. We don't get a lot of like political information. We don't get a lot of character development in my head, like in my opinion. And it's all about just like I feel like I'm watching the Real Housewives of Westeros.
Do you think it's like The Hobbit compared to like because The Hobbit is based on like a small passage and they got expanded versus The Lord of the Rings, which is like more longer books. So you think this is like Game of Thrones is this, but then this is like this, and then they're like drawing it out, or do you think they're rushing through it?
I think that's interesting. Well, here's the thing. So the show is based loosely on the book Fire and Blood, and we know how sorry, I don't want to spoil anything. We know how people die. And so I think they're time jumping so that they get there quicker. My thing is, I don't know that there's enough meat and potatoes to tell this story. I almost wish they would have gone with a totally different storyline, because I just feel like I'm watching a reality show when I'm watching this show, and I'm not particularly intrigued. I feel like Game of Thrones, the way they did things, it was very like a lot of dialogue, and it was like very smart. It didn't spoon feed the audience. It was like, if you don't pick up on something, then you didn't pay attention. You weren't looking, close enough. With this one, they say the same shit over and over, and they're really spoon feeding us. I feel like we went from the Real Housewives of Westeros to now the last episode felt like Maury, like they're not the father, and like, I don't know. So yeah.
And they even have a Jon Snow. There was a little kid that said, "I don't want it." Right? The last episode? What was that one?
Yeah.
So,
Rhaenyra's
Rosa,
kids,
completely rip apart Sophia's argument, please.
Yeah. No, I think that both can exist though, because here's the thing. I think the reason why I said I can take like the Game of Thrones goggles on is because it's a quite enjoyable show when you don't put it up to the expectations of Game of Thrones. I think that I think that if you're invested in the characters, I'm not, unfortunately, but I think if you're invested in the characters, it's a solid watch. It's a really it's a pretty good show. I just don't think that if you're a book fanatic and you're into the like intricate under storylines, like, and it's just not gonna live up to Game of Thrones to what it was. But I think that all in all, it's a good enough show. It's it's watchable. If you like the characters, then it'll grab you. But yeah, didn't do that for me, sadly.
Yeah, no, I understand how the pace that this show is going, how it's easy not to become invested in these characters. I mean, with Game of Thrones, you grew up watching Arya Stark throughout the seasons, throughout the years. So at the end, like season 6, 7, and 8, yes, you have this connection, this investment towards her character. So in that case, I I understand. I completely understand. To me, I am invested in it because I am always gonna be, maybe I don't know, maybe psychologically I'm a psycho or something, but seeing the just the everything that happens in Game of Thrones, like for me, like episode 1, the moment like we're starting literally like with child labor and seeing how all of that happened, and then having to see that being juxtaposed with the knights fighting and so on and so forth, and she's having her fight in the bed trying to give birth while outside we're seeing, so it's having those parallels and having those fights and having the gruesomeness of it all and so on and so forth. It's something that I don't know, it fancies me a lot, and it's something that I'll always gravitate towards, as long as I know it's fictional and it's not necessarily but yet again, I know a lot of this is based on historical, in terms of like the monarchies and all that good shit. So, oh my god, I just cursed. Sorry.
I curse a lot. It's welcomed in this show.
So sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like it. I love what's going on. I love the fact that, in my opinion, they are a bit more complex in terms of not there's not one single character that's either white or black or any of those type of shades. They're all different shades of gray, in my opinion, such so that when you ask me what side am I on, I really had to think about it, because I genuinely don't know. Both of them have pros, both of them have cons, and to some extent I don't think the show has deliberately given us enough for me to even choose a side. So when I had to think about it, I'm like, well, I have to go with Team Green, because at the end of the day, Allison is doing everything by quote unquote following the book, following the rule of the books, and yet she's still being talked down upon. But yeah, and I can also acknowledge that she can be very bitter and very entitled and just spread all these technically true rumors about the legitimacy of some kids and so on and so forth. So I like it. I love all of this. I love the incest. I love the fighting. I love the backstabbing.
We're gonna clip that. I love the incest.
I love the incest,
I
and
love the
I
incest.
just love that. I am invested, and surprisingly, when we're getting introduced now to the children and everything that's going on with them, and even though it's just been a few
There
episodes,
will be more time jumps.
Yeah.
yes,
Next
they
one.
will be. And I am interested to see what happens with them. And I think the fact that we are getting more dragons and we are getting more time with them, granted, not a lot, I'm assuming because of the budget, but we are getting a little bit more of that relationship between the Targaryens and their dragons, and how
This is for Rosa with the green energy vibes. Yeah.
Team Green.
we lost tonight, but we got the biggest dragon in the family.
This is another good meme. It says, the myth of consensual dragon. I consent. I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a myth.
Okay, what do you guys think about Rhaenyra's kids having brown hair and Alicent's not? Because that's one thing I can't get over. I get it that it's her
The seed
plot.
is strong.
I get it that it's to move the plot forward so that there's doubts planted. But man, they swear like if you have a brown-haired person, the kids are automatically going to be brown-haired. Targaryen line has been so strong, and it's supposed to be if you have one Targaryen in there, they come out blonde. Alicent has brown hair, and they all came out blonde. So it's one of those little things that pisses me off. So what do you guys think? Am I alone? Am I alone in this?
Well, I mean, isn't that the whole the seed is strong thing? Because that was more the Lannisters, right?
Yeah, that was the Lannisters, but
the seed is strong.
But that was again not touching on the Targaryens. That was the Baratheons and the Lannisters type of shit.
Targaryens have been fucking each other and marrying their sister for so many years. That's a powerful, or maybe they all get the same bottle of bleach passed down from generations.
Did bleach not exist in the medieval times? Come on.
All right, here's a quick Westeros question. All right, for Sophia and Rosa, and for anybody watching, what would your Westeros job be? If you were in Westeros, would you be a maester? Would you be a princess? Would you be a hua? Would you be a bartender or wench? Would you be the mountain? What would your Westeros job be, Rosa? You can't review movies.
Oh darn! I can't review. I can't review fights or the drama or anything like that.
I mean, you could review like the games, like the fights, the jousts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think I have to go with a maester, even though I don't think I've seen a female maester in this show.
You could be
So
the
I'll have
first.
to be the first. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. What about you, Sophia?
Oh, that's interesting because I would love to be a maester. But
Yeah, but
realistically,
Rosa called it, and she's an actual
yeah, I know.
scientist,
Damn, you
so.
beat me. Yeah, no. I would do something like in the arts. Like I feel like I'd be kind of a gypsy in those times. So I would probably be. It depends. If I was broke, I would be sort of like the actor, the actress that just kind of is broke and is there and on the side is telling people's future. Maybe I'll be like a, what is that? A psychic, maybe something like that. And if I was rich, I would probably be like a maid. What is the women?
Chambermaid?
Yeah, chambermaid. Yeah, something like that.
Mr. CCDV said that would be the guy that delivers fuel oil to houses and street lamps. All right.
Oh.
So that's I would be the dragon.
Oh my God.
It's right there. Like, why wouldn't you just? I would be the dragon. That would be like, duh. Louis the Dragon. They would call me. All right, sorry. One more of these. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. I'm sorry.
I love him. He's just great. He's just like the town idiot. I love him so much. He's gonna die so hard. I'm so sad.
They're all everybody. Nobody's long for this world. Okay, that was my Westeros. So either way, Rosa is watching it. Basically what this says is Rosa's watching it with an open heart, and Sophia and I are just much more jaded.
Yeah.
So Rosa, you said earlier that you were I said that maybe you're somebody's a simpleton. I was like, if anything, I'm the simpleton here. Rosa's a scientist. Sophia's got a master's degree. I'm just I'm just like, if anything, y'all ladies are the learned ones. All right. So anyway, moving on from Westeros, we did have one other topic that we wanted to touch with on Rosa before we let her go, and that is blonde. As we've spoken before, in my mind, Ana de Armas can do no wrong ever. And so when they said she was going to be playing Marilyn Monroe, and then they said that James Franco was playing Fidel Castro, I very conveniently got mad at one but not at the other. And they said, well, it's a whole thing, and we're going into deep dark places. And I was like, uh-oh. This kind of sounds. So I thought maybe it was going to be like the Jackie movie, or like the not the British girl, Harry's mom. What's his name?
Yeah. Diana, Princess Diana.
Like the Diana movie.
That one was good. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the Diana movie, or like maybe the Jackie movie with Natalie Portman, or something like that. And they base it off this novel. And I guess the consensus was that it was just very exploitative of Ana de Armas. So I think Rosa had one of the best tweets out there where you said a story about the exploitation of Marilyn Monroe told by exploiting Ana de Armas. Could you expand on that, Rosa?
Oh my God, it took me like 7 hours to watch this movie. I couldn't get through it just on one sitting. I had to watch like an hour by an hour at a time, and even then, I did have my doubts in terms of whether or not I was going to finish the movie. I ended up finishing it somehow, and yeah, it felt too exploitative. I understand that it's based on a novel that itself is in a sense fictional, or just over it's just written in such extent that, and to some extent, I understand why not all the blame has to go to the director, although I'm pretty sure they must have been fully aware of the origins of the novel itself. And it just felt like, oh man, there's so many scenes that are memorable for the wrong reasons, and I don't understand why. And I think that's my main question. Why did we need this movie? You could have, what's the purpose of it? And if it is to for Ana de Armas to go out there and do her own film and I don't know, maybe campaign for an Oscar nomination or something. Don't get me wrong, her performance was incredible, but listening to some of her interviews and seeing her, hearing her and seeing her be a little bit challenged, and just listening to her talk about how she had a hard time letting go of this character, I can't help but think if it's actually her talking about the character or her experience doing the movie in general that she had a hard time letting go of. And that's one of the things that I find troubling. I get it, I have to separate whatever happens behind the scenes and so on and so forth, but yeah, it was a hard movie to sit through. I mean, if we're talking about hard movies, this one I will never see again, for the very wrong reasons. And I think it comes out in a very bad time as well, when we're trying to still deal with all the Harvey Weinstein stuff and everything that's going on in Hollywood. Some may see it as a way of bringing more awareness to what's going on, and I understand that. But when it deals with somebody like Marilyn Monroe, who was a real person, and it just feels like we're continuing to exploit her image, and we're doing it by exploiting Ana de Armas, and I just couldn't. I'm saddened to report that this is my worst movie of the year.
Oh, yes,
think
accurate.
It could win a Razzie and then also win her an Oscar? Like, would that be unprecedented? Or, like, maybe not win the Oscar, but at least get her a nomination and also win a Razzie?
As much as I love Ana de Armas and everything she did here, don't get me wrong, she was incredible here. I don't think she's gonna get nominated.
No, they did not give her the material.
Mm-mm.
It was so male gazy. I was uncomfortable the whole time, and
from the first shot, it's ridiculous.
Exactly. Like just the walking and the panning of the ass. I'm just like, what? It was that necessary? Is that conveying anything? No. Yeah, and it doesn't get better. It only gets worse. It's just like trauma porn. It's
literally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wish I could disagree because I love Ana de Armas so much, but I think obviously they gave her the vegan Selena treatment because Marilyn was a little bit thicker, with 2 C's, right? And then so I think that, and I have a thread that I want to bring up that's kind of, it brings the opposite point of view into it, because he basically said anybody who doesn't like the movie is just assaulting art, which I understand. There's art, there's auteurs, there's filmmakers that want to work personally one-on-one with an actress or an actor, and they want to just basically it's all about the moment and the visuals and the mood. So from that perspective, I get what they were trying for, and the movie hits some marks technically in how it mixes color, black and white, how it recreates real life pictures and real life events. So from a filmmaking perspective, as purely from a technical filmmaking perspective, did an excellent job, because some of those scenes of her getting into the limo, and then, you know, the slow motion, and then all the photographers, everything is in place. It's like a perfect episode of Mad Men, like a perfect recreation of the time. So from a technical aspect, from a visual aspect, it gets there. And it is meant to titillate. It is meant to put her into these uncomfortable NC-17 situations. It's supposed to be like, you're not supposed to be being turned on by this, but look, and Anna's running around naked the entire movie. It's got all the makings of something that I would love, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not of this time. It's not the right story to tell it, and it's not the right way to tell it during this time in our life. And so that's kind of it also took me, it was like a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. I probably watched 40 minutes at a time over 3 or 4 days, and then had it on in the background mostly. And I was really interested in the parts with, like, how are they going to treat the Joe DiMaggio character and how they treat the JFK character. And it just seemed superfluous. It seemed like there's too much of it. And I understand, and I love filmmakers to continue to have the right to make art however they see fit. But it did feel a little exploitative. It felt like it was just too much. Like they left too much, and it was incredibly male gazy. Paulie says he loves the male gaze on him. Yes. Yeah, it was. It definitely was like. I mean, 13-year-old boys are gonna love it if they get it on Netflix. But for people that are like, if you love cinema and if you're at all aware of the world we live in, you're just gonna cringe when you see it. Sophia, Rosa, how do you guys feel?
Yeah. No, I mean, I completely agree with all of you. It was extremely comfortable for me to watch. I only made it halfway and I just couldn't. I'm gonna pick it back up, so wish me luck.
It does not get better.
I don't think I'm gonna change my opinion, but I will try. Gosh darn it.
And here's just a little bit about that thread that I was mentioning. Basically, it says the indignation and hand wringing over Blonde is not actual film criticism; it's outright declaration of war on art. And he basically breaks down. It's not exploitive. It depicts exploitation. It ignores it's basically like it detracts from the thesis statement of the novel and the movie, victim of a corrupt incendiary machine. It's anti-women. No, you're anti-woman. I just think it's fascinating that people take the time to make these arguments. I mean, the whole abortion thing of it was very weird. That whole thing with the baby in the wound, I just thought that was just like, man, you're making some weird artistic choices here.
And then like the whole orgasming, and then it just cuts to a fucking waterfall. Wow, great fucking art. Oh my gosh, wow, what a metaphor. This is so creative. I was laughable the whole fucking movie. I'm sorry, I was cringing. Like, no,
I forgot that part.
Listen, death of the artist. As soon as you put your art out there, people can have an opinion, and I think it's trash. I think Blonde is trash.
Right. Sophia says, Mr. CCDV's tried to watch Batman. I've stopped trying to watch the Batman. I do wish you luck, though.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck, trainer. Well, Rosa, I know you're excited about Black. This is Black. Oops, sorry. Somebody's dogs are being annoying. Rosa, besides what one movie, and I think it's Black Panther, but are you super excited to see? Because I know you've been. I know this is another tweet that actually Shelly tweeted this out, and I was like, oh, that's the homegirl Rosa. She's going to be on the show, and this has been going viral in terms of like a screenshot because she shared it on Instagram, and I was like, no, this is from Rosa. So. Yeah. Can you expand a little bit on this and kind of just like your thoughts of like the time we're living in terms of the representation that you're seeing on screen and you get to see all of it?
Yes, I get to see it. I think I've been on this mindset ever since ¿Cómo se llama? Robert Rodriguez came out with We Can Be Heroes, which came out like a year or two ago. And just to explain a little, I grew up watching Spy Kids. Spy Kids it's one of my films that I totally love. I grew up watching, and then years later, Rodriguez does We Can Be Heroes with also Pedro Pascal, and he has like a little a Latina as the lead who actually has no powers, and that's her power, that she has no superpowers. So my kids growing up watching that, and I don't know, I guess when you're a mother and you're like in a very self-reflective mode and just thinking about things, and I'm like, you know what, I grew up watching Spy Kids. My kids are growing up with watching like We Can Be Heroes, and they can see Salma Hayek as a superhero and Tenoch Huerta as an anti-hero, pero también Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight, and people in Star Wars, which Oscar Isaac is also in, and Diego Luna as well. So I know I just selected those 4 pictures randomly.
Let me get Oscar Isaac off the screen before we get you pregnant again, Rosa.
Yes, I am due in a couple of weeks. You're all invited to the baby shower.
Can I be madrina, please?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
So safe to say, are you enjoying Andor as well?
You know what, Andor, I've seen the first episode. I'm not big on Star Wars, so I don't think that, although I did like Rogue One, so I feel that I'm supposed to be watching Andor, pero I haven't been keeping up with that one. I'm very meticulous and very picky when it comes to TV shows because I'm trying to still catch up on movies. Pero I'm very selective when it comes to TV. So yeah, I've seen, I think, the first 2 episodes I don't know how many episodes are out yet. I still have to catch up on it. But what I've seen, I have enjoyed.
Okay. Well, I know that I had said that I wanted to talk about, but we already spoke about this on Polly's panel about Reservation Dogs as well as Atlanta. But you said you haven't catch. I would recommend Reservation Dogs highly, 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 highly. It is a really powerful watch in terms of comedy, but as well as like realism. I think I put Reservoir Dogs, Atlanta, and This Fool kind of on like a new tier of shows that are very specific to the ethnicity and the gender and the race of the people, but also is a very universal story. And they're like prime examples of like the types of shows that I hope we see more of moving forward, because they're our stories in terms of the people that are telling them, directed by their people. And like it was amazing to see that every Reservation Dogs episode was directed by an indigenous or native person, and all these things. So I want to see more of that. So definitely we will check back in with Rosa, hopefully closer to Oscar time, so she can give us her prediction.
Yes.
And so we can kind of see what's up
Well,
with.
I actually really quickly want to get her predictions now, just to see if they Can you guess? Like, do you have any
Was
guesses
it front
as to
runners?
what? Yeah, front runners. What do you
Ooh.
think are going to be nominated?
Well, I was talking to Polly earlier, a couple hours ago. We were talking about RRR, the Indian movie that sadly wasn't selected as a representative of India, but they're still throwing an FYC campaign, and they're going for all the other categories. And I think that might get a chance in visual effects, best picture, and best director. But the thing is, I haven't seen a lot of the movies that are being speculated to be the front runners. I think Blonde was one of the movies that was getting a lot of buzz, and as soon as it came out, buzz just disappeared.
Died. Oh no.
Do you think
I was
that?
like,
Because I think in some years they spread them out, but do you think that we're going back to the because I think maybe with COVID and the release strategy over the last couple of years, there was a lot of stuff getting released mid-year. Do you think that they're going back to the limited run at the end of the year to qualify type situation for a lot of the projected favorites?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're definitely going to be doing that now that the Academy has gone back from January 1st to December 31st, and to be eligible, the eligibility window per se. So I you know what, I do think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to keep the momentum. It's still going to keep going up there, and hopefully it does get some recognition. I don't know about Top Gun Maverick. I'm being doubtful on that one.
It made all the money. It doesn't need awards.
Just because, I mean, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever still gonna come out. You have Bardo, you have Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro one, not the Disney live action remake. Which no manches. What else? The Fablemans from Spielberg. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't talk on that. I know The Son, it's getting a lot of buzz, starring Hugh Jackman, which is the follow-up to The Father with Anthony Hopkins. This one's The Son. ¿Qué más? Tar with Cate Blanchett. It's also getting a lot of buzz. Again, I haven't seen any of these movies, so I don't know.
How did you like Don't Worry, Darling?
You know what?
Yeah.
I was one of the very few who did not mind it. I actually enjoyed it. The third act doesn't necessarily pay off all the build-up and such, but I had a good time with it. I like what Olivia Wilde did here and with the movie. Yeah. I mean, Harry Styles, that meh, but Florence Pugh, definitely. She's a powerhouse. So anything she's in, she's just going to elevate it more.
Would it have been better with Shia LaBeouf in it?
Oh,
Sophia coming in with the hard-hitting questions at the end here.
yeah.
I mean, he's already in our intro. What else does he want?
There's only like one or two scenes that require that Shia like anger kind of performance. So no, I don't think so. I don't think it would have been better with it.
Well, all right, everybody, make sure that if you haven't already, you follow at Rosa Reviews. At Rosa's Reviews, she kind of approves film reviewer, and she is the co-founder of Latinx Lens. She contributes to the Daily Chela, etc., HCA Critics. One of the most important up-and-coming Chicana reviewers, reviewing stories of all types, not just Latino stories, but it is important for us to have more representation on all sides, in front of, behind of the camera, and as well as reviewing films in the future. So, Rosa, one of our favorite of always, you're always invited carte blanche on the show.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
No problem. Thank you so much for the invite and for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to the both of you, and keep up the amazing work. You guys are doing amazing.
Likewise, Rosa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. That was Rosa Parra.
Oh, I love her. Love her.
She's good. She's good. She's good. She's good.
She was a chihuahua this whole time. I kept looking at the little box, and I just felt like I was talking to like the chihuahua thing.
Let it out, Sophia.
Yeah, you know. Oh gosh, you got to make it sad. I wasn't making it sad, bro.
Listen,
Linda.
Listen. Having a dog is beautiful, but it comes with hardships, and like you said, you still got two. Yeah. And how are they acting actually?
No, they're a pain in the ass. Oh my gosh.
Have they been acting weird? Are they looking for her?
Yeah, I mean they stopped now, but yeah, they've been. And the thing is, like, they don't like each other, so that's kind of my hardest struggle right now. Is like, Cookie was like the one that kept them in line. She was the peacekeeper.
She was the mediator.
And she was a mediator, yeah. And so they've been fighting a lot, but in the last day, I caught them not cuddling, but sleeping near to each other. So,
they'll get into it. And
poco
then,
poquito,
what I know the new one is younger. How old is this one?
6. She's 6
6
years old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. They're good. They're good girls. All
They're
right.
good girls. Yeah. How are your babies? How are your fur babies?
They're all right. We're in the weird segment of the end of summer where there's still some fleas and their medicine is wearing off. So my bed is, I'll show you. My bed is all covered up with stuff so that they don't jump on it. Because nice. I can't stand it. So they're not allowed on the bed right now until their medicine kicks in or the fleas are all dead for the winter. So
yeah. What medicine do you use? Do you use the like 3-month pill?
Yeah, you got to go with the pill. Yeah. You got to, because all the topical stuff is fucking sucks.
Yeah, same.
And I got spoiled the last couple of years. Well, not spoiled, I guess, because Tango was my last dog that had long hair, and the other ones were short haired, so I could see when they had a problem. I could just spray them down. It was done. But now that I have also another long haired dog, so that was he's every time I would get the fleas off one of them, he'd get them. So it was a pain in the ass. Anyway,
that sucks.
Thank you very much for Rosa. R.I.P. Cookie, Sophia's dog. That's okay. All right.
Yeah,
We know we're dog people. And one of the I think we're going to be putting together some PSAs about dog ownership.
Yes.
That I'm going to film because I believe that one of my main concerns, or what do you call that?
Like you advocate for?
Yeah, one of the things that I advocate for is responsible pet ownership, and specifically as it pertains to Latino culture, African American culture, changing our perspective about what a dog's life means, because I think there's so many great organizations out there that are helping rescue dogs off the street, that are taking dogs out of shelters. There's so many countless organizations that do the Marley's Mutts, We Save the Puppy, tons of them in San Diego alone, across the world, that just do this. There's so many good people that are, and the reason that these organizations have to, even if it's the pits or like the show, the Pit Bulls and Parolees, the couple shows like that. Yeah. There's tons of organizations like that. But the reason those organizations have to exist is because people are stupid and they don't fix their dogs, and they have these ill-conceived concepts about what dog ownership is about, or about dogs, because dogs are wonderful, but if you let dogs fuck once, it's 9 puppies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that even if you're a responsible dog owner, you make a mistake, now you have 9 puppies that you have to deal with. And the chances of you finding 9 responsible families that will spade and neuter their dogs, especially if you have to give them away for free and you can't be picky because you have to get rid of all these dogs, are slim to none. So maybe you get those to 3 or 4 people that neuter them, a couple of other don't, and then, out of those 9 puppies, 2 or 3 of them have 18 or 27 more puppies.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very critical for us to change our how we feel and how we relate to animals, and how we and to get our heads out of our ass, because if you really are an animal lover, and if you really love your pets, and if you really love animals, then you have to understand that no matter how many of these organizations exist, still hundreds of dogs, just like your dogs, just like my dogs, get put to sleep every day, because they either get abandoned by families, or there's nobody to take care of them, or they're the 7th and 8th puppy out of a litter and they can't find homes for them, and they get dropped off on the street, or they get dropped off at shelters. So it's uncomfortable to think about, but there's great organizations all over the world that work with these, that are trying to help, but it is too much for them because the rest of the population, and I think because sometimes in the back of our mind, there's organizations that are helping, there's shelters, there's this, there's that. Trust me, and I'm not blaming the shelters. If you had an influx of hundreds of dogs every day, you have to make tough decisions. You don't have space for them, nobody's adopting them. Some dogs got to go.
Yeah.
So one of my causes is, and I think that if we make some cool PSAs that sort of address the issue, that don't talk down to people, that I think it would be a cool project, and something that would make me feel fulfilled.
Yeah, let's do it. I love that idea.
So we will be doing it, and I'll try to cut this as a clip so that we can promote it. And then if anybody wants to be involved with that, either as an actor, helping us fund it, providing some snacks for the crew, or being a part of it, being an actor, being part of crew, we will be doing this at some point, hopefully before maybe during the winter or early spring. I definitely want to make some of these. I already have the ideas in my head. I just have to knock out the scripts. But anyway.
Yeah. We got to be polite in these PSAs, right? We can't just be like, don't be a shit dog owner, you fucking asshole.
No, like literally in one of them, I think it's like a mother and daughter, and she's like, no seas estúpida.
Oh my god!
Come on, stop thinking like an old idiot or something. I don't know. Yeah. I think we're definitely have, because I think it's just cultural. It's a lot of it's cultural.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm not made out of money, y'all, and I adopted Honey because my family from Rosarito, there's street dogs everywhere, and they don't fix them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can take one, but that's that's about it.
All right, let's move on. Yeah. All right, palate cleanser here. All right, in my mind, this is every pair of podcast hosts. So which one are you?
I feel like I'm Mike Wazowski. Come on.
Yeah, I think so.
Mike Wazowski.
I mean, size-wise, it fits, right? But yeah. So you're like the nerdy. I'm more like the brute,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Totally.
Yeah, I got a quote thesis. Me and Sophia.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. All right. And let's knock out some tabs over here.
Yeah, it's tab time. All right.
Yeah, let's knock some out here. All right, this is the overused joke of the month here. I don't feel like we should be make Mexican jokes because people will get upset. What? Not even Juan? Not even Juan. Okay.
But
Shit. All right. I mean, yeah, I guess very low effort here.
Yeah.
This is something that I'll be talking about tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Polystream. Amazon Studios announces Latino community initiatives, including the inaugural Youth Cinema Project Fellowship. We will talk about this tomorrow on Polystream, but my short answer on this is,
Yeah. At Latino Slant, everybody tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we got going on here. Okay, biggest news item of the week. Everybody freaking out about Lizzo.
Yeah, I heard something about a flute and twerking. Is that what you are referring
Yes.
to?
So
Okay.
basically, James Madison, right? If anybody's familiar with his work,
Yeah.
James Madison raped his half cousin, who was black, I believe. James Madison raped his half sister, who was a slave, had a son with her, then sold his child into slavery when he was a teenager. And people are mad at Lizzo for playing the flute. So
Jeez.
James Madison had a flute, a crystal flute that was given to him as a gift at some point. Again, this is a slave-owning ex-president. And they gave it to her to play on stage. Here's a clip.
Mhm. And that
Can we
was
talk about
it.
how insane
That was
that
2
moment is from a
seconds.
historical perspective? Lizzo is playing James Madison's crystal flute. She's the first person to ever play that instrument. James Madison, like all founding fathers, was a complicated person, but he wasn't that complicated, right? He enslaved people. He never freed a single slave in his entire life, even in his death. He was the architect of the Three-Fifths Compromise that allowed the southern slave-owning states, of which he was from, to count enslaved people as 3/5 of a human being, right? He was also the president of the American Colonization Society that basically said, you know what, black people, even if they are free, are never going to be able to fully integrate into white American society. So let's just ship them off to a new country we founded called Liberia. James Madison's crystal flute, I can't think of a more perfect symbol of the wealth and excess of the enslaving aristocracy that many of our founding fathers were a part of. The fact that that flute is being played by a black woman in DC, the capital of our country that was built on slave labor, in front of cheering crowds.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yep.
Uh,
It's chef's kiss. Yes.
And so basically, the Library of Commerce has a flute vault. They have 173 million objects, so there's many more surprises, blah blah blah. And they have like different instruments. Lizzo is a classically trained musician. And then they have a bunch of stuff here about the stuff that they have. But seriously, like people were freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, and it's so funny to hear like the perspective from conservatives. It's just they are trying to latch onto the historical, like that is a degradation of a historical object and blah. Okay, like settle down. She is classically trained. She is an artist. All right, and they are focusing on the twerking, because they are afraid to say the obvious, which is that they're fucking racists, okay? And that they don't like to see a black woman playing an instrument that is part of history or whatever the fuck they care about. They're just, for me, it's just like plain racism, but they're trying to sugarcoat it or cover it up as in like, I don't like that she twerked with the flute. 'Twas but a jiggle, sir. Did you see that? It was 2 seconds. She didn't even twerk. Calm down.
Yeah, no, yeah, white, and some of the hotter takes, white people freaking out over Lizzo playing the slaver's flute is my favorite Twitter right now. They never knew the flute existed, and now it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
The racists are upset again. Lizzo playing James Madison flute was a form of racial retribution, according to the woke left. And I actually have no doubt that this is a part of the reason why the Library of Congress facilitates this spectacle.
The racists are mad again. Accurate.
Nick Adams, Lizzo isn't talented enough to play music on a $20 Yamaha plastic recorder off Amazon, let alone a crystal flute once owned by James Madison.
Oh, you? Sorry.
The Biden administration is making a mockery of this country.
Nick Adams, shut up. Are you talented enough? Shut up. Jeez.
Oh my God. Everyone involved in the decision to allow Lizzo to twerk while playing James Madison flute needs to be deported. I don't care if they're citizens. The Library of Congress really took out a 200-year-old flute that belonged to James Madison just so Lizzo could twerk with it. They degrade our history and then call you right. Oh God, they degrade our history. He's literally saying they degrade our history by saying, you took our slave-owning ex-president's flute and let a black woman play it.
How dare thee? Yes, you're racist. You're racist.
Oh my God.
Ah,
She studied classical music in university with a concentration on the flute.
love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
And then
Mm.
there's a whole breakdown of the fact that she had that it was a very specific flute with a pre-bohem style, pitched in D, tapered board, blah 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 blah. So basically, it wasn't just like it was a regular flute. It was a very specialized type of flute, and she was specifically qualified to play the flute because she was a fucking brilliant musician.
Yes.
Lizzie stopping by. The outrage over this flute is hilarious. What's up?
Yes. This is Lizzie.
Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no, this was it's they're saying the quiet part out loud. They're basically going full on just like I'm racist. Here I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of this like every single take was dumber than the previous one. It was like, how dare you let the fat black, and I'm Team Lizzo because she's about the big ones, the big girls, big boys and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ride with her regardless.
There you go.
So yeah, fuck all that outrage.
Seriously.
Fuck your outrage. So the British Bake Off had a Mexican night or a Mexican show, Mexican week, and so this is their tres leches cake.
No, Lou, they didn't.
Yeah, of course they're doing it. They're doing the Mexican.
Dios mío. It has a mustache for the listeners. It has a mustache on it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a tres leches cake with a mustache.
Oh, I know. Well,
They also did a tiramisu and then something thing. I'll see if I find that one. So yeah, definitely stop freaking out about fucking flutes.
yeah. Period.
End of tweet. All right, let's have a little palate cleanser here. French TV show invited people with unusual laughs to sit together. The outcome is brilliant.
What?
Vous êtes célibataire, c'est pas à cause de votre rire.
J'espère pas.
Non.
Okay, sorry.
What was all that noise?
That was just a French TV show that had a bunch of people laughing. Mr. CDV, I'm the whitest person on this planet. If she plays flute, then she deserves to play a good one. I wish I could play bass good enough to play a historical bass. Yeah, like what if George Washington just had like, was just slapping the bass? You know what I mean?
Slapping the bass. Yeah.
Slapping the bass. What if and then they're like, yeah, you can play the bass. Just don't twerk with it.
'Twas but a jiggle.
Don't twerk with it. Biden administration pulling back a little bit on the loan forgiveness so apparently Republicans are trying to block people getting free money. Bunch of lawsuits, and now they're pulling back a little bit of the proposal of the 20,000, saying that they're eliminating people whose debt is held by private companies. So as long as the debt is kept by the government, it's still part of it, but they are doing it. So a little bit of a pushback, but I think that's just because they are going to try to find a workaround around that.
Yeah.
So are you scared that Dark Brandon's not going to give you your money, Sophia?
I don't think so, just because I'm subscribed to the email newsletter from the student aid, the federal student aid thing, and it seems like it's already happening. So I don't know what the lawsuits are going to do at this point. It seems like, I don't know. The ball's already rolling, so I don't know how much that's going to do, but I'm not too worried, I don't think.
Yeah, I already cashed that check.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I subscribe to a newsletter. That's how you know I'm desperate.
Governor DeSantis gets clowned for wearing white boots. So intern, Mr. Governor, everybody else is wearing standard shoes. Perhaps we should. I said, give me the fucking white knee highs.
Why is he wearing knee-high boots? Why?
I don't know. Maybe he was gonna go jump around the swamplands.
Yeah, and white.
What?
And
Anybody? Anyway.
anyways.
Anyways, let me see. Moving right along, M&M's are introducing a new spokes candy, so everybody can freak out about. It's purple.
Hmm.
Hmm.
She's bisexual. I'm calling it now.
No, but I did. But did you hear about the thing that you can do today? And we'll do this
No.
together. Have you done this yet today, Sophia?
No, what?
All right. So today, for all our listeners, if you Google Velma,
Velma?
Google Velma.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my God! Why? That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, pride flags are raining, y'all.
Yes.
That's what's
So
happening. So if you
Velma,
Google Velma, I'm gonna do it.
Velma is officially a lesbian. A new Scooby-Doo film. Years after. So basically, there was a scene in a new Scooby-Doo thing where she's sort of pining over this other character. So they basically said it's canon. It's officially Velma is officially a lesbian.
Yes, Scooby-Doo, Papa.
Scooby-Doo coming through. So just today, if you Google Velma, that is going to come out. Just so you know.
That's amazing. Wait, is this like a show? What? Scooby-Doo film? Who's playing her? Is Haley Kiyoko playing her?
Is that like a thing?
Well, Haley Kiyoko's like, yeah, we call her lesbian Jesus. So she is our deity. And I Googled Velma, and it says here played by Linda Cardellini, obviously, yes, Faye. But it also says Haley, Kate Mikuchi, Gina Rodriguez. No, these are all in old ones. Who's gonna play her?
I should have brought this up when Rosa was here. All right, so that's we're getting into the gay and bi news segment of the show here.
Yes.
Lena Dunham got attacked by the gays. Lena Dunham.
Durham. Yeah.
Her tweet was, "When I go, I want my casket to be driven through the New York City Pride Parade with a plaque that reads, 'She wasn't for everyone, but she was for us.' Who can arrange?" So
why?
She died as she lived, in a ploy for attention that was puzzling as it was desperate.
Oh no!
So
said it.
the gays were not happy. They're like, hard pass.
Oh gosh.
She couldn't read the room. It seems a bit right. It seems a little like, look at me.
Yeah, that's random. Like, why? Yeah, I don't necessarily particularly find it offensive. I find it attention seeking. I don't know. Why would she want that? You're not.
I don't mean like.
I don't think so. She's not necessarily somebody that you would say like, wow, like, Haley Kiyoko. I would get it from her. Totally. She's lesbian Jesus.
Get in there and make it about you.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, why would anyone want that? Who in a pride parade would be excited for that?
If you see when you say Lena Dunham, the first thing I think about is gay ally. Like, that's not the first thing that like comes to my mind. Like, she's a famous gay ally.
No, not even close.
It doesn't come up. All right. So this is my curse Game of Thrones casting. Okay.
Okay.
Like if they cast Game of Thrones here.
What's his name? Billy Ray Cyrus as Ned Stark. Khaleesi is Kim Kardashian.
Khaleesi. We're gonna get Kim Khaleesi.
Kim Khaleesi. Nice.
Vince Steeler as oh god.
I want to watch this. I would watch this
as a young wolf. Okay, I could see this. Like an older Sansa.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, great. Yeah. Tyrion Lannister is
definitely.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck as Jaime, as the Kingslayer. Yeah. I don't know. Is that a Jonas brother? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's Nick Jonas. Yeah.
That's a Jonas brother as Jon Snow.
He was younger. Yeah.
Oh.
Amy Schumer.
Cersei
Lannister
as a Cersei. Michael Cera as this guy. That's not bad. I mean, that would have been an interesting casting decision.
Yeah. I'd watch it. It sounds like a comedy.
It
All
does it sounds like it does sound like a comedy, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Next.
Next. Okay. So British people are trying to trademark taqueria.
But that does not stop the colonizers. It is Hispanic Heritage Month, but that does not stop the colonizers from having audacity. A couple hours ago, this user, Poor Princess Skimmy, uploaded this video asking all Latinos for support. So there's this white British-owned Mexican restaurant in London called Taqueria. I don't know why they would name the restaurant just Taqueria. It's like naming your pizza shop Pizzeria and that's it, but to each their own. However, because they decided to just name the restaurant Taqueria, now they're trying to trademark the word Taqueria because they feel like the word Taqueria now belongs to them. And they're going as far as sending emails to Mexican-owned businesses in the area, letting them know that they cannot use the word Taqueria for their businesses because that word belongs to them. And they've even specifically targeted this business, which is owned by a Mexican woman, and they told her she can't use the name Taqueria. White British people are trying to tell Mexican business owners that they cannot use the word Taqueria because it belongs to them. Please sign this petition to stop their trademark. It is Hispanic.
Interesting. Why? This is giving me. Do you remember, like back in the day when the YouTuber React channel was trying to trademark the word React and all reacting content on YouTube?
Really?
I think it was the Fine Bros. Yeah, they got canceled after that. Yeah, because they started a React trend on YouTube, and then they thought they owned it, so they tried to trademark reacting videos.
They try to trade. Yeah.
And people were like, "No, what?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's like well, like I mean, it's got to be sort of semi-unique. Like the guy who trademarked "Let's get ready to rumble," even though you're not allowed to say that, he could sue us. But he trademarked that, as his trademark. There's people that I think they even tried to trademark like "In a Dream." Kim Kardashian tried to trademark kimono.
No way. Really?
You're fucking kidding
Oh,
me.
that's great.
That's amazing.
So, speaking of racial appropriation,
That's like-
taqueria, kimono, yes.
File that under this week's the caucasity.
The caucasity.
The caucasity.
We need to start a segment if this can continue.
I mean, we've always had the caucasity. The caucasity.
Oh,
Let me close the rest of these out here and move them to the future weeks tab since they don't seem relevant here.
I wonder if they're just trying to scare people in the area, like in the UK, as in like, "Oh, mate, you can't use the word taqueria. That's us, mate." But because they're not coming, surely. Like they're like, think about how many taquerias there are in TJ alone. Like, they can't trademark it worldwide, right? Right.
She failed and changed the brand to Skims. Huh.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, you can't just trademark look, literally, like if there was an American taco shop that opened up in TJ and was just called Taco Shop, or in San Diego, and they called it, Taco Shop. Like, no, you can't just call it Taco Shop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, it's not a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how British libel or copyright laws call, but this is Viserys after every House of Dragon episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will continue to hate watch. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, you can continue to hate watch all you want. Okay, last topic. Last ones here. Bros. Okay, we talked about this when the trailer dropped.
Right. I still haven't watched it. I'm sorry. I know that I know that they didn't get enough support. I have to support it. I will watch it. I promise.
Right. Well, Billy Eichner is pissed at you.
I
He
know.
seemingly blames homophobia for underwhelming box office. It was gay. That's just the world. Okay, basically, that's just the world we live in. Unfortunately, even with glowing reviews, great Rotten Tomato scores, and the A-Cinema score, straight people, especially in certain parts of the country, just didn't show up for Bros. And that's disappointing, but it is what it is. Everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight, and you will have a blast. Excuse me. And it's especially and uniquely powerful to see this particular story on big screen, especially for queer hosts who don't get this opportunity often. Now, as somebody who gets kind of to watch a lot of films for the festival, I can tell you that there are a ton of indie films that deal with gay and queer relationships. Tons of them. Now, so I think that's one of the issues that people had, was him basically saying that this is the only queer movie ever, and if you don't go see this movie, then that means you're homophobic and you don't support. The other thing is Smile, a horror movie, opened at the same time, and that one did about 30 million. So it's the question of, because it's a rom-com, rom-coms aren't doing too well. The last rom-com that did okay was the one with Sandra Bullock, but that was like an adventure rom-com, right? In the middle of the wilderness, etc. That's the last rom.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
And I did. And also I had Channing Tatum. I'm sorry, but Billy Eichner, Channing Tatum was not in your film. The gays would have showed up.
They also were burned. Some people were blaming a line in the trailer where they said straight people had a good run. Etc. I've been told that movies like this were not made for me. Now I'm really confused. I think that the trailer looked incredible. The trailer looked funny as hell. And if it's a good story, and if it's a good story about human emotion, then I think I'm not going to the theater for most romantic comedies, though. Unfortunately, if I'm going to the theater, I'm going for horror. I'm going for Maverick. I'm going for something like that, tentpole movies, as well as like I might go for. And then right now, older movies. Like I think it's a thing now that people are seeing like older rewatches, stuff like that. Right? Brokeback Mountain, etc. Victoria, stuff like that. But I think that in terms of a modern rom-com, I don't know. Well, I guess Sophia, do you owe it? Do you feel disappointed as a gay? Have you heard any buzz about it? What are your thoughts, kind of like on how it performed and what role the culture plays in it?
It's hard to say, just because it's sort of aligned with like any film that has to do with any community, right? As they're obviously marketing it as like it's not only for gay people. So like Mr. CCTV, like obviously just because there's gay characters in it doesn't mean it's a gay movie and is only for gay people. And I think that that's probably what he was trying to convey. It's like, hey, straight people, like don't be afraid, you guys can fucking also watch it, it's totally fine. But I do think that it's kind of aligned with Latino films sometimes not thriving in the mainstream market, right? Or like when it's a movie that has very outwardly ties to a community, I feel like other communities kind of feel maybe uncomfortable in watching it. And that's just the sad reality of where we're at, because not everyone is going to be super inclusive, and not everyone's going to run to the theaters to watch a film that necessarily maybe they don't feel represented in. And so I do think that straight people sometimes can look at gay movies and then they're the gay movie, and put them to the side. Like they don't even consider it. Whereas white men films, like that's been the protagonist throughout our lives, right? So me as a Latina queer woman, I see a film with a white dude as a protagonist, and I have no issue watching it, because those are the lens that I have been, like I've grown up watching movies through, unfortunately. So I feel very comfortable with that, even though it's not my lens. Vice versa, though, a white man, do you think that they would feel comfortable watching a movie that is led by a gay man or a Latina queer woman? I think that they would probably be like, it's not about me. It's not for me, So I think that there's an imbalance. Whether that's homophobia, I don't know that it's so much homophobia as it is just how much we've all as a society been ingrained with the white man protagonist lens, as opposed to, like, I don't think it's homophobic. I just feel like.
Well, do you think it's like culture within culture? Because obviously the queer culture is a queer culture, but the people that are the least oppressed in queer culture are white males and white lesbians.
Yeah, but you got to also think of about the percentage in society that is, gay versus heterosexual, and then even within the community, like lesbians sure aren't lining up to watch this film. So it's kind of like, it's an uphill battle already. And I think that Billy Eichner was probably disappointed, because this film, if any gay film is going, gay focused film is going to get to the mainstream, it was probably this one. They did great marketing. But so I think they probably expected that it would hit with straight audiences, so that they would have more support. And the fact that it didn't is probably like just pissed him off. But I don't know that I necessarily agree with him immediately screaming homophobia. I think that it's a greater, I don't know, it's a greater disease that we've all unfortunately grown up in, and that's that, like, if people don't feel uncomfortable sometimes watching films that don't pertain to them, and what we have to do is undo that construct, right? Because who's to say that you wouldn't enjoy it, right? Who's to
No.
say that a straight white man wouldn't enjoy watching this film? It's probably really funny, but you know, I don't know. I feel like Smile, for example, is just a generic fucking scary movie. So I think that more people, you know, in the mainstream are probably more comfortable watching that film. Unfortunately, that's just the reality that we live in.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna go out, if you're gonna do the proverbial get a babysitter, leave the
Mhm.
house, park
Date night, yeah.
thing, that I think that you want a sure thing, and I think that if you're sitting on the couch and it's like a Wednesday night and it's watch a movie and it's like, oh, this just came out on Peacock and you're a fairly evolved person, I think you great. And another thing that I saw is a lot of movies have been doing split, like they're on Peacock or they're on Netflix or they're on whatever and in theaters at the same time,
Mhm.
which increases word of mouth, which increases people saying, "Oh, you know, hey, fuck it, I'll go watch that on the screen." Or I saw it, I heard some people talking about it. Let's go with that. So I think that they banked on it being, it had a semi-marketable star, well known in his own community, and they had like director from like 40-Year-Old Virgin, or they had a bunch of people from like a bunch of other rom-coms and stuff that were involved. So I thought they could just print money with it. I thought they were just like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is gonna be woke and this is gonna be the thing. I mean, I don't say woke. I want to say it's like, this is gonna be like the correct movie to go see, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And I
but
don't,
it doesn't sit right for me to for him to immediately scream homophobia, because I'm like,
yeah,
bro, that's how the word becomes obsolete, is when you start, you know, just randomly throwing it out. Like, just because your movie didn't make enough money, maybe we can look at the more macro level issues as opposed to just like targeting straight people and blaming them. Like, I don't know. That also doesn't sit right with me, but you know,
no, absolutely, I understand. I just thought it was I thought it was interesting. I think, yeah, just saying that it's homophobic and that it's
it's like,
because,
no.
and anybody that doesn't go see it as a homophobe is wrong. I would
Yeah.
love to see it. I just don't think that that I have to, or that I should make feel funny for not going to see it. I try to be an
Mhm.
ally, but we promoted the we watched the trailer when it came out, right? We
Mhm.
reacted to the trailer at on a show and we were like excited about it. And I said at the time, like, if all the gays don't go to see this, what's you know what's going to be the reason? And I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. It's the release schedule, it's spending money, it's what it was up against, it's the fact that it didn't go on streaming at the same time, and also that maybe, one of the tweets was like, maybe people are tired of white twink stories, or like maybe, even though I think that the movie does a good job of addressing that. And I've seen some people that have gone to see it, and everybody that I know personally that's gone to see it has liked it.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
so I don't think that it's a thing, and I'm down to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
and I'm
down,
still going to watch it. I'm just not rushing to theaters. Like, I have a full-time job, guys.
hopefully it'll
And
happen.
as you know, if we learned anything from having Rosa on, is that she goes on about films that I say I'm gonna watch and I then don't. So I think I'm just very bad at watching movies. It takes me forever. I have a long list after this.
Yeah, I mean, we all got a list.
Yeah.
For the love of everything, holy, I'm conservative Christian. I still watch shows that are LGBT. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
and listen, we were talking earlier, and I will say this, and we'll talk a little bit about it on future shows, but I can't recommend Reservation Dogs or Atlanta enough. I know that I always say that I have the list of shows that I watch, and my list of shows included like Cobra Kai, which I haven't watched, Severance, a bunch of other shows that I haven't watched that I know I'm gonna like. And every time I pick a show, and I was right, all right, I'm gonna watch a show. And every time I think I'm gonna pick Cobra Kai, but I picked The Boys, and I love The Boys, and then I picked something else, and now I watched Atlanta, caught up on it. It's incredible. I'm not African American, but I love the story and I can relate to it because it's got human emotion. It's a great show. And then I watched Reservation Dogs, and even though I'm partially indigenous from my Colombian side, um, like I'm not Native American, and it is such an incredibly well constructed show about trauma and about family and friendships, and it is really, really well made, and it is really, really well told by native filmmakers and actors, and it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me from a specific standpoint of the people that are depicted, but still I connected with it in so many ways. So regardless of your subject, I think the language of film and storytelling is universal. So if you can tell stories well, and you can make people connect to them in human ways, then it's definitely there.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's about empathy, and it's about being together, etc., etc. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have four. We have four No Namez Weis.
Gotcha.
All right, we're wrapping up here, leaving enough time for our No Namez Weis. The last tab that we had here are: do you know of any other bisexual people throughout history who should have more visibility? Sophia?
Jesus, why am I blanking? More visibility? Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. Wait, no, she was just lesbian, wasn't she?
Well, it was. I think I had this up for last week because it was by visibility, and for some reason you always are not here on that day
Oh, sorry.
because you're
I also don't know the days. Like when people are like, "Oh, today's like dog, like, dog day or like boyfriend day or
by dog day.
pizza day." I don't know. I don't know the days. Okay, when is by visibility day?
That was a week ago. All right. These
I'm
are
gonna put it
nine.
on my calendar now.
These are 9 famous faces from history. All right. So Ma Rainey, nicknamed the Mother of Blues, she was equally as open in her lyrics about her love for women, most famously in "Prove It On Me" blues.
Yeah, her lyrics are filthy. I was listening to them a few weeks ago. It was great.
Giacomo Casanova. He was, while his name is infamous with synonymous with seducing women, he was also recorded sleeping with men on several occasions.
Yes, he was.
Marlene Dietrich from the early golden age of Hollywood. She was the first lead actress to kiss a woman in the 1930 film Monaco, and was known through her ear for androgyny. Hans Christian Andersen, the Danish author, The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling. He wrote in his diary about his attraction to both men and women. Frida.
That one, come on. We all know that one's a classic.
We know Frida. You know. She, we all know her. Alec Guinness, actor. Josephine Baker, 1906, 1975, Black Broadway show. Lord Byron, English poet. Yes.
He was a freak. Oh my gosh. I just watched a little documentary about him. Yeah. Anyway.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Eleanor Roosevelt. Yes.
Wait, she was? How do we know? What?
She'd be Roosevelt changed the role of first lady. There was, I think, I don't know. I don't know if it was ever officially confirmed through diaries or anything, but there was always the rumors about her.
Gotcha.
Senator Kristen Sinema. She's a bi non-ally, I guess.
She's a self-hating bisexual.
Tallulah Bankhead.
Tallulah Bankhead.
Yeah, an absolute. Okay. Anyway, I thought I would bring some of these up for you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes, with the bi visibility. Yes.
I'm gonna tag you in this thread so that you have no excuse, Sophia.
Yeah, just at me.
To not next year. A couple of palate cleansers, and then we'll get on to No Namez Wei.
Alrighty.
This guy is this guy made a poor choice.
All right, let's see. Oh no. There's no way this is real. Lou, the camera's sitting right. There's no way this is real. I'm sorry.
Isn't that like a security camera? I know. She's like, why are you so? Oh, you thought I was gonna burn the hole down? All right.
Would you do something similar though? If you had kids theoretically, like
it depends on who's cooking.
And what they're cooking.
All right.
What are you looking for in a partner? They just have to be
Money.
conservative.
Definitely someone that wants to have kids.
I like an independent man. Personally, I like the alpha male vibe.
Somebody who's gonna really be in tune with how to minimize my reproductive rights.
I want a man who really loves his family. Definitely someone whose faith is important to them.
For me, it's someone who actually wants to meet my parents.
Why do you want to date a conservative?
Sophia?
I love, just not having rights and having to cook for
me,
someone.
At least I know that we're going to start off with some shared values.
Well, the conservative men I've dated at least know how to treat me like a woman.
In my personal experience, conservative guys have better manners.
I like that they understand their role in the relationship as a man.
I just prefer my men to be masculine.
And what's the biggest red flag when it comes to dating?
A Democrat.
No Democrats.
A Democrat.
Well, good thing, ladies. I'm a socialist leftist, so.
Can't be a Democrat.
A Democrat. That's easy. A Democrat.
No Democrats. So no.
Love it.
Find the right match. Download the right stuff today.
There really is someone for everyone, right?
So apparently, it's mostly dudes that are signing up. So people are mad because they're not matching.
Oh, so they had to do a promo with like all girls to.
Yeah.
Well, they should do something to like, I don't know, promote to women, right? Because this is all promoting to males, and you already have enough males. Should I get on there? Oh my God, I'm gonna.
No, social. I think you have to be invited, but I'm pretty sure if you're a woman, they'll let you sign.
I'm gonna get on there and trigger all of these conservatives. Oh my God.
It'll be good content for the show.
Oh, should I? Yeah, we should do a segment. I'm down.
All right, guys. We've gotten through the tabs. Now it's time for
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei. No Namez.
My favorite part of the show. Let's do it.
All right. Here it goes. First question comes to us from. Okay. I think I changed the order. I think we should say the name at the end, like signed, right? That makes more sense to do it that way.
I know, Mr. CCDV, but I think you're more accepting. Yeah. Oh, he just said, "Wait, I'm a conservative."
No, I mean, if you can hang with us, then obviously you have good taste. So don't worry about it. I think. I mean, listen, man. I have a lot of places where in my life where I'm conservative.
Yeah, I have conservative friends as well, and I'm just like, there's differences, the extremist.
And also, there's views that I have that are conservative, but I will still be on the side of the freedom for people to have it because I know it's not all about myself. So I mean, I think it's completely, man. We're not a monolith, no matter who we are. So it's not a big deal. Thank you for hanging, obviously, and for participating in the show today. Absolutely. All right. Here's our first question. My cousin, 35, just came home after being locked up for 2 years and then spending 3 months at a halfway house. Okay. He moved back in with his, let me put this over here so I can look at the camera a little bit more. He moved back in with his old lady, who is not actually old yet, 27. They have 1 kid together and 3 kids between them. Okay. A while back, while he was inside, I tried to tell him that she was having dudes over at the house and that I had seen her making out with somebody he knew. At the time, he told me not to give her a hard time because of the prison clause and to leave it alone. I did, and I am not proud to say I went over to visit her once or twice after that, since he said technically he was cool with it. Now he has been home for a few weeks and they have been arguing, and he asked me to give him a list of everyone I saw with her or that I saw over there.
No.
I ignored him, but he wants to meet up soon and talk. So now I'm wondering if she might have told him about our indiscretion. Should I just say he already asked me not to tell, so I'm not going to? Or should I give him a list and omit a few key names? Help. Signed, cousin's ladyfucker.
Run away. I would just move. What did he do to get into prison, first of all?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be that would be the follow-up question, right? What was he in prison? Was it a violent crime?
Is he a violent guy? Because if so, just move. um, I mean, if he's your cousin and you're going to continue to have a relationship with him, the only correct thing to do is to omit names.
Okay. Yes, I was about to
Yeah.
say, are you? I thought you were gonna be like
No.
Jon Snow with it.
No, you omit names, and you also can't say, "You told me not to tell you, so I'm not gonna," because I feel like that's a little sus. I feel like you would have to throw a couple under the bus and then just not say your name at that point. I don't know. I feel terrible.
Okay, so if he and people that don't know, the prison clause is basically an unwritten rule in prison culture, gang culture, etc., that there's an understanding if you have a relationship, an old lady, whatever, that if you get locked up and you do some time, that she's allowed to have some fun while you're on the inside, right?
Mhm.
It's and it doesn't technically count as cheating because you were locked up. So, right? She has to meet her
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah.
And he was in the and the cousin was in the frame of mind while he was locked up because he tried to give him some dirt. But meanwhile, if he's locked up, he can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So probably for while he was inside for his own mental well-being, he's like, I don't want to hear about it, right? Because I don't know if you want to be like the drama from Prison Guy calling your girlfriend, arguing with her, like, who was over at the house? Although I'm sure
because you need that support. So he probably was just like, I'm not even going to touch the subject until I get out.
she's taking care of my kid, like, right?
Yeah.
Like what can I do from here? So you tried to do the right thing at the beginning. Then he's in the right frame of mind, and he's like, it's prison clause, let her go.
Then you did the wrong thing.
Then you did the wrong thing, and you're like, I guess it's open season on my cousin's girlfriend, and you went over there too, more than once, and maybe you saw somebody going in while you were coming out or something like that. Like I don't know how much traffic was going through there, but now they're arguing, and you fucked up because you said it in the first place.
What's the advice though? What's your solution, Lou?
I'm trying to look at the different angles. I try to look at the different angles.
Yeah.
You give them some names of people that have like died or like look, you look at the COVID death list and you find some gangster names and you're like, I saw Joe Smith or something like that. Like honestly, like you got to give up some names. Maybe pick some people that you don't like. Now, here's the key. You have to make sure you pick people that don't know that you got in there. That's the only thing that's the only piece of hardcore advice I have. Any name that you have can't have any knowledge of you being over there. So I was saying, like, so if you have an Eskimo brother in the situation, and you were both fishing from the same pond, then that person can't be on the list because then they could very easily will be like, yeah, you know why he knows? It's because he was in there too. Yeah, you are screwed regardless. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much shit out of luck. You're screwed. So like Sophia said, consider moving, or maybe consider getting yourself locked up for a few months on a small charge to escape. You can do a little 2-month bid, can't you? Get out of there. Yeah, no, that's a tough one. You fucked up already. You fucked up when you fucked his.
It's hard when the deed is done. I'm like, yeah, it's just damage control at this point. I don't know.
Listen, you're gonna be doing a lot of this, but you said it was prison clause, dog. Yeah. You're gonna be doing a lot of,
yeah.
So maybe take like a boxing class or something. I don't know. I mean, man, if you had the balls to go in there and you're gonna try to claim prison clause, then you're gonna have to fight it out at some point. So yeah, if you're gonna go the shady route, just make up some names that are like benign, people that are locked up somewhere else or something, or just something, and you're gonna be like, no, maybe I don't know. I just saw some people over there, but nothing was happening, and then I think I saw her at a bar, but it could have been this other chick because then she had her hair the same or something like that. That's kind of the only way, and then you're gonna have to probably throw somebody under the bus.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
Yeah.
So, best of luck to you, cousin fucker.
Good luck.
Good luck, cousin fucker. All right. Next one comes to us from
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei.
No Namez.
How can I convince my boyfriend to do a couple's costume this year? We've been together for 3 years, and his idea of a costume was emptying out a Bud 18-pack, placing the cardboard box over his head, and calling himself Budman. I got invited to a pretty upscale party through my job this year, and he owes me, but I know when I bring it up, he's going to bitch and moan.
Oh.
Signed, Cute Halloween, please.
Oh. That's hard. Well, it's okay. I just off the top of my head, I don't know that I have good advice. I think it's just literally you have to tell him, like, first ask. If he shoots you down, you freaking tell him, like, hey, motherfucker, it's my workplace. I need you to dress up. You will do it.
I think you lay out visually 5 different costumes.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 of which you know he will never do. Right? Like a Cinderella and Prince Charming with like the full regalia, you know what I mean? Where you like rent a pumpkin carriage, right? Like so put like 5 options on the table and say he has to pick one. You know, you can bring up the past, be like, I did this for you, I did this for you, I licked your balls when you were sweaty, whatever it is that you did. You got to pull out all the shit that you did, right? And then give him 5 options, and 2 of them should be horrendous. Like no guy would ever be caught dead with this, right? Like I said, Prince Charming, maybe like Shrek and Fiona or something. Like, although
those are both cute, by the way.
but
like,
yeah. I might be down for some. Shrek
yeah,
and
you know
Fiona.
him better. Whatever he wouldn't do.
Right. So just make 3 of them, then make 2 of them passable, and then just have them pick like that, and then just stress. Listen, I need you to do this for me. It's my job. I want to have fun. I just need you to be a good corny boyfriend, not be Mr. Tough. And we're gonna do a 3-hour appearance, and we're gonna dip the fuck out. Put it to him that way. Lay out the choices, and just let him pick the best one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's better advice actually. Giving him options, but not the option of opting out. Oh no, is my Wi-Fi working? It may not. It may be glitching. Oh no. Hello? Is my mic working?
I think I'm back. Sophia's back.
Hey, did I just freeze or?
No, I think there was an issue with StreamYard that you were frozen. Thanks, CCD. Yeah, we were frozen for a minute, and I think it kicked us out because it kicked me out of StreamYard. I had to rejoin. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anyway, all right.
So
That was.
coming
I
through loud and clear.
almost got a chance to use this.
I love that. Okay, cool.
But we came back. We came back.
Back.
So the advice: put out the costumes, make him choose one. I don't know. He doesn't have the choice of not choosing one, and just if you have to seduce or get it, just tell him to behave for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, no seducing. If anything, withhold. I feel like you don't want to positively reinforce it. At least, or no, do after he wears it.
Yeah, just
Promise not before.
Promise him costume sex.
There you go. Yeah. And if he doesn't do that, then he's just a douchebag. I don't know that you should be with him.
Then you might have a different question to ask us next week.
Mm-hmm. Let us know how it goes. Please update us.
All right. I like this interaction. Do you like Star Trek Lower Decks? It is on my list. It is. I'm not the hugest Star Trek fan. Oh, that's Mr. 60. I like this. Have you watched Star Trek? It's like animated cartoons about like the people that are like running the bows of the ships for Star Trek.
No, I haven't. I know nothing about Star Trek. Nothing.
It is one of the fandoms that I know the least about, other than, it's bad to be a redcoat, and I've watched all the movies and I used to watch the show back in the day as well. But if I had to rank it on my list of fandoms and stuff that I watch religiously, it would be toward the bottom, although it would be kind of a cool desert island show because there's such a vast library of stuff, interesting sci-fi, and it also had all the cool sort of social issues of back in the day in there, which I thought was cool. So yeah, definitely I love animated stuff too, so I do think it's something that I will watch, but I'm not as learned on it, etc., etc. So thanks for submitting. All right, and then the last one comes to us from Worried Cousin.
So many cousins tonight.
A lot of cousin. We got cousin fuckers and maybe this one's for the other one. I have a cousin that I might have to kill because he had sex with my wife while I was in jail. Ouch! No,
shut up. Okay, you had me there for a second. Fuck, I'm gullible. Damn.
They're all fans of the show.
Yeah.
I have a cousin in her early 20s that loves to party. I get it. She's young and is having fun. I'm just worried about her because when she does party, she drinks alcohol a lot, like a lot. She was recently in hospital with a kidney infection. I don't know how to approach her and tell her that maybe she should calm down a bit with the drinking. She was also almost SA after a night assaulted after a night of drinking and partying. She was really upset after that, but I didn't want to say maybe don't drink so much anymore.
Yeah.
A little victim blaming there, and go with a random man to his house because you're putting yourself in these situations. Although if she is putting herself into the situations, this is just advice. It just felt too much like victim blaming. There you go. I just want her to make better choices and not put herself in situations that could get her hurt. How do I have a talk with her and not sound so harsh and mean? What can I say?
Yeah, definitely lead with the kidney failure. The kidney. The fact that she fucking had to go to the doctor for it, because the other one sounds very victim blaming. I know what you're getting at is like you can avoid these things, so maybe avoid them by either not going or drinking less. But it'd be better if you lead with I'm concerned for your health. And I think this is one of those situations that unfortunately, if she's in her early 20s and she's just like, I don't give a fuck, I'm partying, I'm having fun, it might just go in through one ear and out the other. So I think just present it as in like, hey, I love you and I'm very worried about your health. And I just think that like drinking is totally fine, but just maybe like, todo con medida, just, drink less, stuff like that. And depending on how she responds, you will know if it's something that she wants to work on or not. And if it's not something that she wants to work on, at least you said your piece. And unfortunately, you can't force others to, live life the way that you want them to. So so unfortunately, it's one of those things where you can say your piece, but after that, after she receives it, you have to back away and just kind of let her live her life, sadly, and learn, the way she's going to learn.
Yeah. I mean, if she was close to getting sexually assaulted,
that's hard. Yeah. You could mention that you're worried about it, but then no, because regardless, it comes off as like victim blaming, right?
Yeah, but I think the fact that did she pull her out of, was a guy about to take her drunk ass home and she pulled her out of a cab or something? Like, did she walk in when the guy was trying to sit next to her on the couch or something and get creepy with her? We don't know the specifics of what was going to happen to her, but I would lead with, like you said, the kidney stuff. Listen, maybe her thought process is we're here for a good time, not a long time, like one of those. And maybe she just doesn't give a fuck. So she could have deeper issues that are at play that just makes her, there's people that live their life in a crazy way because they either feel like they're not going to be around forever because of their family history or shit like that. So you never know what somebody's going through internally that's making them pull those levers and go in that direction. Like the way you're treating it might be that she's just a dumb young person and she's drinking too much, right? And she get it. But if she's drinking that much and she's living in that reckless way, then there's got to be right. Do you feel like there would be a bigger underlying problem there somewhere, right? That maybe her cousin doesn't really have all the tools to get to.
Possibly, yeah.
So those are the two things, right? You can come at her from a cousin and advice and say, listen, you're gonna ask her that question. What do you see your life at 40 as? Do you see you want to be like sick? Do you want to be like on a dialysis machine? Do you want to be like, in a position where you can't go out at all, where you've been assaulted multiple times, you got some kid, like what do you live in California? Do you live in a no abortion state? What happens if she gets sexually assaulted and she can't have an abortion in the state that she lives in? There's a lot of factors that go into play here from a technical as well as a like logistical standpoint for shit like this. So what kind of person is she? Is she analytical? Will she respond to facts? Is she emotional? Will she react, to how you feel? Figure out what kind of person he is, and that'll tell you what the approach is. Just be honest with her. Present your points. Don't overdo it. Don't beleaguer it. Tell her how you feel because, like Sophia said, at the end of the day, she's going to live her life. And then just sort of try to take into account any bigger factors, traumatic events and stuff that happened in her life that might be forcing her or making her sort of act that way.
Yeah. Man, this is a hard one. You never want to see your little cousins go through like anything like that and then have to be the person to tell them to stop,
Yeah. And you never want to hang rape or assault over somebody's head to try to scare them into sobriety, right?
But unfortunately, it's like a very high possibility. And so, yeah, you got to just be careful out there, y'all.
I think that I wouldn't be the person to tell my friend that because as a man, then she would be like, well, why don't you just tell all men not to rape people, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, don't lead with that. But if it gets to that, sure.
But I think woman to woman, right? Like if you just be like, let's just take all the shit off the table and let's just be real with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could be like, do you want to fucking wake up and you're fucking passed out and you got like 3 dudes on top of you? Like, right? Like a girl to girl, you could say that, right?
Yeah, I think you can. It's just about the delivery. Like you said, I love how you focused on like what she receives better because like you can build an argument based on like ethos, logos, and pathos. And so just really cling on to like how she receives information. I'm more analytical. So if you just like tell me statistics like, yo, you drink, ergo, you might get raped, and then babies, like what Lou just said, I'd be like, fuck, maybe I should chill. But that other people might be like, you're victim blaming and I feel attacked. So maybe you go through the emotional route. One time I had a friend who didn't drink water. He just drank soda, Gatorade, no water. And I had my dad had a friend older, his age, who had gone years with only drinking Coca-Cola. He died because of this. So what I did I did tell my friend, I'm like, hey, I'm very worried because you don't fucking drink water. And my dad's friend just passed away because of the same thing. And I'm afraid that you're going down that rabbit hole. You're going down that path and I don't want you to die. And I'm not going to lie, I got a little teary-eyed. It was very emotional. I don't want to lose him. And I let him know this. And since then, he has been drinking water. He doesn't like it, but he does it. He's like, I don't want to die. You're right. So that obviously resonated with my homie. So just figure out what's going to resonate with her and hope that she receives it, right? Because also, he could have very well not received it. So yeah, good luck.
How about a little come to Jesus conversation? That's but you're definitely right. I think I learned all that from my life in coaching and training and stuff like that, where I had to figure out how to motivate people, and that's the way you have to do your life, Like I think like you when we were talking when we first started talking about dogs and stuff like that, and I was like, Sophia's like analytic driven. I gave you like stats and stuff. You're like, how do I You're like, tell me, like, how can I change somebody's mind about that? I was like, look, just these are numbers.
Yeah.
These are the number of dogs every day that die.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck.
And right now, how you just said, one dog has 9 dogs, and then those 9 dogs, that 3 don't get fixed. They have more, 27. It was like,
27 dogs.
You know, a lot of fucking dogs.
That's a lot of dogs.
And they all die.
And out of all those dogs, and then we get left with this little fucker. Yeah. Also,
dude, I just saw Baxter go surround your bed trying to get up and just be like, oh, fuck this. There's still shit up there.
they're like,
they're so mad at you.
They got like 3 comfy couches to sit in. They have dog beds. They're fine.
They want your bed.
They're just freaking. They're just spoiled as fuck about being able to have bedtime.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, chronic pancreatitis is useful for alcoholics like me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So, hey, Mr. CCDV, thank you very much for hanging out with us today, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate the support. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for participating. Thank you to Rosa at Rosa Parra, Rosa Reviews, Latinx Lens for being a part. She is our favorite. Thank you for everybody that's listened, subscribed, liked, left a comment, submitted a question, all of the above. We will be live with you guys. Well, Sophia, you have a thing tomorrow, and I have dental surgery Friday, so we will hopefully
we both have health stuff.
We'll both have health stuff this week, so hopefully we're both recovered by next Thursday. To take it from there, make sure you guys are following the audio version of the podcast by finding the Gente Show literally everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Samsung, everywhere. So thank you everybody for being a part of it. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, hasta luego, mi gente.
Peace out.
Vamos, papá, hay que irnos. Me estoy aguantando desde que pusieron el domo.
Puedes esperar. Muchas personas trabajaron en esta película y solo quieren que te aprendas sus nombres de memoria.
Y yo quiero asegurarme de que ningún animal resultó lesionado durante la filmación de esta película.
¡Listo! ¡Uy, palomitas en el suelo! ¡Wow!
Espera, parece que Maggie tiene algo que decir. No, su primera palabra. ¿Escuela?
4 años de escuela de cinematografía para esto.